Hello, you are watching the latest edition of DBE TV News. Thank you for watching this bulletin every Friday on the DBE TV channel 122 on OpenView at 12 p.m. and on the Department of Basic Education's YouTube channel. Please do share the link with your friends, family, and anyone in your circles. Welcome. I am Tsehohacho Moagi. Taking a look at our top stories this week. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga encourages women in the Eastern Cape during the Support Network for Women Leaders Gala Dinner. Gauteng Education MEC launches a sports school of specialization in Centurion. Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule launches the No Racism, Bullying and Antisocial Behavior in the Free State. KwaZulu-Natal MEC Mbali Fraser has launched an inquiry into allegations of racism at Hillcrest High School. Let's start here. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga has urged women to work together and pull each other up. She was speaking during the launch of the Eastern Cape Department of Education's Provincial Support Network for Women Leaders. Motshekga says women need to know their strength and power and to continue the legacy left behind by others.
This network and the women empowerment on August 9, Omam Sophie Penn, the rest of all. The same who retired this week. So that generation is gone. But we are left with a legacy. We are left with a legacy which we should continue for our children, and I'm proud that our government, is on. That they dedicate August to us. I'm happy that we should have every day is Women's Day, and we push our if you do everything, you end up doing nothing. So, we network, we form platforms, we do all sorts of good things which will enable us to plan and be able to reflect every year. But more than anything, assess what is our strength. And I'm saying our strength is our numbers. And we have to use those numbers. And to use those numbers, we have to promote others to create that critical mass.
The minister went on to remind women of the importance of working together and finding ways to pull each other up.
It really helps to make sure that as women, we remain united, we live as we rise. Right? We live as we rise. That's what Matlage taught us. That lift as we rise, because it's easier to lift up than to push down. Because not push on push down. So it's easier when you pull up. But you pull up not only for yourself, you pull up not for that long-term puller up, even for all of you and for everybody else, for the girl child, for the women generation, but also to have different voices, because if we conscientize each other about a number of things, it will even help us to develop an understanding of how do we deal with boy child, because boy
Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule has urged parents to take responsibility and accountability as they raise their children. She was speaking at the launch of the No Racism, Bullying and Antisocial Behavior at HTS Louis Botha Technical High School. Dr. Mhaule was joined by the Free State MEC Tate Magwe. This campaign follows reported incidents of alleged racism, assault and bullying at various schools in the Free State. These incidents also include disturbing learner-on-learner violence, which has led in some instances to killing of learners by fellow learners.
So basically we are here to say no to those social ills that are occurring in our schools. We are also saying no to anybody who is practicing racism in our schools. We are also going to empower our principals and SGB members who are here on how to deal with issues of racism, with issues of bullying in our schools. We're also going to share with the colleagues the importance of values in education. Also to our SGBs, how to deal with learner discipline, how to manage learner discipline. Especially when you look at the presentation of the district director, all those offenses as indicated there. How do we manage them and how do we deal with them? Because our intention is to make sure that we support all our learners. Remember, our strategic intent is to raise the bar, close the gaps, and support learners in all the grades.
Deputy Minister Regina Mohaule spoke about the importance of the campaign and how it plans to deal with various issues such as school dropouts.
The campaign by the department takes place under the theme School Safety, Violence and Bullying Prevention Initiative. That's how we name it. And it is in response to incidents of bullying and violence in our schools across the country. The school safety campaign involves providing teachers and parents with the skills to respond effectively to incidents of bullying. The department will uses the campaign to highlight the negative impact of bullying, such as leading to depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, low academic performance, absenteeism, and school dropouts.
Mohaule says the fight against bullying is an ongoing one, but it needs everyone's attention.
If we're able to fight HIV, we're able to fight COVID, we're able to fight all the other scourges, what will stop us from fighting this scourge, especially bullying? It destroys the future of our children. When you are bullied, especially about something that I can't change in me, when you say, yeah, your head is small, where am I going to go then that my head can be enlarged? I can't change it. So that's my head and I'm proud of it, but our children are not like us. When we're growing, we're given all the names. And we didn't care, one day I'll be your boss. Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to go around one day is apart. That's the attitude that I took when I was still young, when I'm getting bullied and abused on things that I can't change.
Stay tuned. After the break, we find out more about the new Sports School of Specialization launched by the Gauteng Education MEC.
Everyone has their own definition of what education is and means. What is yours? TED is a show that seeks to challenge the status quo by inviting guests that have a role and an inspiring story to tell about their journey in education.
A lot of it is not learner-centered.
This show seeks to dive in deeper conversations in quest of answering the big question, why education when there's so much to do outside of it? Why invest energy and resources that are so impactful in our society?
You're seeing a cartoon character that looks like you counting to 10.
This show airs on DBE TV channel 122. In case you miss it, binge watch it on YouTube, DBE TV. And also don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, simply DBE TV.
Gauteng Education MEC Panyazali Sufi says the launch of the Rosina Sidibane Mudiba Sports School of Specialization in Centurion will go a long way in planting the seed of transformation in all sporting codes. The Gauteng Department of Education envisions to open a diverse array of schools of specialization that will address skills shortages in South Africa's economy and nurture the talent of learners. The school focuses solely on sports and has been named after Rosina Sidibane Mudiba, who was a talented track and field athlete.
And this is what we want. And it's not about playing sport. The reason why we are launching this school is also the economics of sport, the finances of sport. Because if you have people that will be broadcasters, if you have people that will be lawyers, will be people that will do all these things, it's purely because we planted a seed and we are nurturing that particular seed. And I want to thank the leadership of the school, the principal, the SGB. Protect this school. We want to come here and invest in this particular school. And I'm not joking when I say, when we need an Olympic team, you must start selecting from this particular school. That's what we need. And we are now diversifying. We need cricket fields in our schools. We need basketballs in our schools. We need tennis facilities in our schools. It must not be about soccer and netball only. We must diversify. And each and every community, Spitfire, each and every minimally must have 5 sporting facilities, minimally, so that our children can diversify and they can play.
Merosina Sidibane Mudiba spoke about her time as an athlete. She says perseverance assisted her to be a recognized athlete.
I was doing a long jump. The only thing that I have never tried is high jump. I couldn't do high jump, but I did a long jump, discus, 400 meters, 800 meters, 1,500 meters, and 3,000 meters. And then by then, later on during the competition, because my sister was a senior to me, she was a champion during high school level. Then I came to the School of Mia, then I had to compete against my sister. It was not easy. Firstly, I said, no, my sister is a champion, I won't follow her. I just have to follow her, it's my sister. But because I had everything in me, I just have to say that, no, sister, I have to go out. Then I detached my sister, and then it's then that they talent searched me. We were members of James Mokoka Dream Team. The main aim of Mokoka to talent search girls, it was to show our counterpart, that black women can do it. Black women can also black women can do whatever our counterpart can do. Then that was the aim of Mr. Mokoka. Fortunate enough, we were a group of 8 girls, and then we call it a dream team. From that dream team, not everybody can make it to the top, but I was the only one that was able to represent the Atteridgeville team to Pildi Stadium. I would say I'm the first black woman to run in Pildi Stadium.
Lesufi went on to thank parents and partners for the investment into the school and learners interested in sports. He did, however, urge learners to protect the integrity of the school.
The parents that are here, thanks for allowing us to change the future of your children. But I always tell the team, I only invest where there is commitment. If there's no commitment, I'll invest next door. Because you can't bring all these resources. You can't create this space only to lose it because people are not serious. So I don't want principal, when we live here, chairperson of the SGB, I don't want people to say, no. MEC was there, Pizzo was there, everyone was there. How much money is there? You start to fight on something. We don't want that. We want you to nurture these children. To our children, protect this. Protect this. We used to have one school of sports in Elandsfontein, you know it, coach. And there were challenges and there were fights. I think, Jab, you come there from that school, if I'm not mistaken. Others come from that school. So, protect this. Kore, abaro ngwana o otswa ko Rosina Sidiban, Mudiba. Rebone moe. Don't want to read about the wrong things in the papers about this school and the children of this school. So protect the image protect the integrity of this school.
Soccer legend and former coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, Supersport, United and Al Ahly also had some words of encouragement for learners, reminding them of the importance of staying in school while following their sporting dreams.
I just want to say at the beginning, healthy body, healthy mind. Because when the body is not healthy, the mind can never be proper to absorb and consume the education that we've been giving them. Am I right? Good. And at school we learn things like biology, we learn things like nutrition and all that. So you will understand as a football player that what does the game demands. The game demands all these energies, and we get all these energies from food. And you need to know which energy with food support the muscles, which food supports the mind, which food supports all these things. So that's what you're going to learn, and that's part of the biology that we learn in nutrition. And I'm speaking about this because I was in the same position. I'm from the township, like the Lesotho. And we came from exactly where you are. So we know the way up, we know what we need to do, and we know what we followed. And discipline is part of it.
Moving over to KwaZulu-Natal, where MEC Mbali Frazier has launched an inquiry into allegations of racism at Hillcrest High School. This follows claims of racial discrimination at the school and concerns from parents and members of the public over the department's stance of promoting equity in all learning institutions within the province. The MEC visited the school and heard testimony from some of the learners about what they are faced with daily. Fraser says they will return to the school within a week to give information of recommendations from the inquiry. She says racism cannot be tolerated, especially after so many years after democracy.
The school must be a safe environment for all, not only for you as learners, but for teachers too, and for everybody who is in the premises. We are going to listen to you, and I promise you that as a mother, by the time you go to your final exams in October, you will be satisfied with what will happen. We are here as the department, as he has alluded earlier on, that as the department, we are not going to tolerate any act of discrimination. So we are here to assist all parties involved. Because with the problem of racism, it's not only the victim that is in trouble, or even the perpetrator themselves. They also need help, because you can't do that. Not now. I mean, we're 20, how many years? 29 years since we attained our democracy as South Africa. I mean, if they can do it to you, my kids, what about those who are more underprivileged than yourselves? It's unbelievable. I mean, everybody who's here should know that in a school like Hillcrest, you expect that there's mutual, understanding of that you are here and we are us. Everybody who's here is here because she or he is that particular person, but still, I feel very, very sad.
When we return, we are in the Northwest with the Deputy Minister as she sends her condolences to parents and teachers of learners who lost their lives.
Research is showing that NSFAS supporting students on average are performing better than non-NSFAS supported students, which is also something that is very important because it says this almost complete wraparound program by government of NSFAS students is become very important. Also, the change from NSFAS being a loan to being a bursary has also made a very big difference because it has now even opened access to students, even in those institutions that were unaffordable in the earlier phase of NSFAS. Universities that have been more expensive, like University of Cape Town, Stellenbosch, Wits University, Pretoria, there's been a huge increase of the numbers of black students from poor families directly as a result of NSFAS and the kinds of difference that it has actually made.
Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule was in the Northwest to lead a multi-sectorial school safety roadshow to the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda district. Government departments have joined forces to tackle the continuing challenge of violence in schools. The departments include basic education, social development, home affairs, justice and constitutional development, as well as a South African police service. The fourth installment of the anti-bullying roadshow at the Vaal Reefs Technical High School in Orkney took place under the theme School Safety, Violence and Bullying Prevention Initiative. The Deputy Minister urged learners to ensure they make the right choices at all times.
Just imagine when you are in prison and you hear about these things, that your siblings are no more, this one is no more, and you cannot go and pay your last respects. So I'm saying, he said it correctly, that the sum of the decisions and choices that we make every day are those that are going to take you to where you will be. Even all of us here, the choices we made when we were still young are the choices that have brought us here. Wherever you are and whatever you are doing, if you can just think back that they were talking to you, they were advising you, they were counseling you, you never listened. Opportunity comes once in one's lifetime. It comes once. So let's get lessons from what we have seen today, and the choir that sang. The choir from the correctional services. Look at the young people. They are very young, but they are not at home. They are not with their parents. They don't eat what they like. We always complain that when they are in prison, we feed them. But their choices are limited. There's no Nando's there, no Galitos. So I'm saying, those of you who get easily agitated and want to act fast, please, if somebody annoys you or makes you to be angry, just drink water and keep quiet.
Staying in the province, the Deputy Minister sent her heartfelt condolences to the parents, teachers and schooling community that lost 5 learners in a horrific accident in the province. According to reports, on Thursday the 18th of August, the front wheel of a mini-truck burst and the driver lost control of the vehicle, sending it into Faith Hook Primary School fence, ploughing into 9 learners. 5 of the learners were killed instantly. It's understood the learners were waiting for their school transport after school within the school premises. Dr. Mhaule says the department is deeply saddened by the accident and all resources must be made available to assist the families and learners who would need psychological support.
I know, HOD, that you will work together with social developments. They need to be supported. Yeah, they need, even the learners, they need counseling. We cannot expect them to be normal now. They are not normal and it will take a bit of time. Because all of us, when this happens, it reminds you of the pain that you experienced in the past. So that's why we are here. We're here to comfort you. I'm so happy. I was thinking of a scripture. My God, what scripture can I use to comfort them? But that the Anglican Church was here. And they comforted you with the word of God, which I can still tell you that Isaiah 43, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's what God says to you even now. That you don't ever think that during what happened now, where is God? God is still God, no matter what happens. And there's some other things He allows them to happen for the reasons only known to Him, not to us. We can want to know the reason that The question that God never answered is why? Why, God, why? Why did it happen to us? Why every day trucks are passing here? This never happened. Why today? And we will never get an answer for why to God. It's a matter of time to wait and see that why has this happened? We'll only have the answer when we see the reason. So even the parents, I know that they're asking themselves, because when children are still young, we are all looking at the future.
That's how we end this bulletin this week on Channel 122 on OpenView and on YouTube. Thank you for watching.